Welcome back to the last day wrap up of the 100 horror films in 31 days. This is day 29, 30, and 31. Been doing a lot of traveling. I was really kind of fortunate to get past 100 films in October because I had quite a bit going on. But I finished 100, just to wrap things up, I finished 108 films with 59 first time watches. And then 70 plus films were Blu-rays from my collection. So overall, a really good effort, I think, in October. Even though life and work and all those things kind of interfered to some extent, particularly the last week or so. Over the last final 3 days, I got into 6 films. So let's go through those. First up is Combat Shock. This is the Severin release. A guy named Buddy Giovazzo, I think that's how you pronounce it, independent film director from Staten Island, put together this film in '84 about a Vietnam vet exposed to Agent Orange, and he's back home and he's just having basically a meltdown. He's even got a nagging wife and a deformed baby due to the Agent Orange. It's a gritty, nasty film. A lot. If someone said this was made in the '70s, I would have believed it. I mean, it's got that grindhouse feel. Really good. I mean, this film earns its reputation in many respects. It's gritty, grimy, and nasty, and you just can't take your eyes off of it. Even the deformed baby, it's just brutal. A brutal watch, and of course, I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I give it an 8 out of 10. In fact, Buddy, this is a signed copy. I've got 1,000 something out of 2,000, and looks like Buddy signed it right there. Yeah, great release from Severin. I think this was limited. I will definitely have to check out the special features at some point before the year is over. But that's a great movie. Brutal watch though. It's not for the weak stomach. All right, next up, I watched 2017's Marrowbone, which is about some kids that are essentially orphaned. They lost their mother. Their father was abusive and apparently killed her. And so they move in to this family house, to try to escape the father, and the father comes looking for him. It's basically kind of a ghostly, with some real life horror elements, mainly due to the father chasing him down, trying to kill him, which isn't really clear what his motivations are. But it's still a good film, very atmospheric, and I think the cinematography is fantastic, and it looks great. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good watch. You might want to downgrade it a little bit because of the father and his motivations or lack thereof, but I think I still liked it. Great acting. When you get young people and kids in a film, that can be kind of a mixed bag from an acting perspective, but I thought they did a great job. Next up, Universal 30 film horror set. So, of course, the Universal 30 film Blu-ray box set came out, I believe, late August. And the first thing that happened was the 3D of Revenge the Creature was pillared because it was all cattywampus and screwed up. And you had apparently dual screen imagery and that type of thing. And some people even said that the 2D version of Revenge of the Creature looks soft and not very good. So bottom line is, a lot of people complained, and then Universal apparently re-released the box set, and it was like $60 at some point on Amazon. I think right now it's selling for like $79. So I went ahead and jumped in. I figured, well, even if it's still screwed up, I mean, for $70 you're getting all the other stuff. So, and of course I've bought the Universal horror films multiple times, but And the first thing I did was watch Revenge of the Creature in 3D, and it worked. It worked fine. If you're buying this set waiting for the 3D Revenge of the Creature, I mean, I would just go ahead and buy it, because really the original Creature from the Black Lagoon is better 3D. The Revenge of the Creature the 3D works, first of all, but it's not like overwhelming or great. It's a lot of depth type stuff. I mean, I would just as soon watch it in 2D, to be honest with you. But it looked fine. So I think the errors at least are corrected. At least from the copy I had, it looked great. Now I didn't watch the 2D to see if it was soft. Some people have accused the 2D version of being soft picture and things like that. I didn't watch the 2D version. I just checked the 3D. Revenge of the Creature is a fun movie. Of course, I grew up with it. Part of the problem with it is it once the creature is captured and brought to Miami, it kind of drags. It's not sure where it's going to go. It's a short film, but it still drags a little bit. But it's as is all the Creature films. It's a fun film. It's a childhood favorite of mine. So 7 out of 10. Next up, day 30, I watched, and I don't have a copy of it. Thank God I don't have a copy of it. I would be pissed off if I spent money on this. 1986's The Bride with Sting. And the girl that played in Flashdance. Trying to put her name out of my mind now. Jennifer Beal. I thought 30 years later maybe time would be kind to The Bride, because when I grew up as a teenager or late 20 something, when this film came out, I remember it got lambasted by the critics, and it was horrible. People just thought it was shit. It was just basically put out there because Sting and the Police were real popular, and Jennifer Beal had coming off of Flashdance was popular, so they just paired these two up in really what essentially is it's a love story masking as a horror film, but it's bad. Time was not kind to this film. It's just bad. I will not buy the Scream Factory release. I don't want to put myself through that torture again. The acting sucked. I mean, Jennifer Beal's horror. I mean, this pretty much should have been a career-ending thing for Jennifer Beal. Bad. And Sting's terrible too. I mean, it's one of the, and it's long. It's like 2 hours, so it commits every offense possible. It's an uninteresting storyline of a love story that's not going anywhere. Wooden acting to the point where it's just bad acting. The little midget. Actually, the only interesting thing about the movie was the subplot, which should have been the main plot. The subplot between the monster and a midget, who befriend each other, and this traveling circus. They become entertainers at a traveling circus. Their story was interesting, but man, when the midget gets killed off like an hour and 20 minutes into the film, that's when the credits should have rolled. Just end it. Just end it right there, because it's bad. I give it a 3 out of 10. It's worse than I thought, and it just needs to be buried under some scrap heap. But yeah, buy the Scream Factory release at your own risk, because it's just horrible. And then final, I broke into the Amityville box set and watched the original 1976, I believe. James Brolin, Margot Kidder, the Amityville Horror. Rod Steiger, great all-star cast. I mean, you can't complain with the acting or the star power that was brought to this film. I think the film still works. I don't think it's a great film, but I think it still works in a lot of respects, and it is certainly propelled by the outstanding acting of the 3 stars. So I give it a 7 out of 10. great, great stuff. Amityville, and I've watched it zillions of times, but it still works on its own merits. And then I watched, I think, which is the better film, Amityville 2, The Possession. This is definitely an 8 out of 10, and the best film of the series in my opinion. Burt Young plays a father who's abusive father who moves into the house with his family, and all kinds of shit goes on, and he basically blames the kids and beats the kids and beats his wife, and basically you can tell where this is going to go. I mean, the son ends up being possessed, and it's a great film. I mean, it just riveting. Thought the acting was fantastic. Yeah, Burt Young, he always plays the same character. I mean, he plays Paulie from Rocky. I mean, and it's so damn entertaining. I mean, he's one dimensional. I mean, it's always going to be Paulie from Rocky, but it's just as entertaining as hell every time he does it. So, loved it. I give it an 8 out of 10. And that is going to conclude the 100 horror films in 31 days. Of course, if I'm around next year, hopefully I will be, I will do this again. So again, wrapping up, I made it to 108 films in 31 days. So I think that's pretty good. It wasn't really what I wanted to accomplish. It was a lower number than previous years, but I'll take it, given some of the other things going on. I will be back with a Blu-ray and DVD update, a pretty extensive one. I accumulated a whole bunch of shit in October, and just due to time constraints and shooting all these videos, I haven't had a chance to record it, but it's going to be a lengthy Blu-ray DVD update. Until then, I appreciate it, and let me know what you think. Thanks.